Gamera. Gamera. Gamera is really neat. He is full of turtle meat. We all love you, Gamera. Take it, B. Gamera's got a shell. It's really whack. He falls on his back. Ah, for fuck's sakes, you just screwed it all. Hit the theme music.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
I'm getting fucking Milos to rap with me next time.
Oh, can I really? I know Gamera and can spit mad bars.
Oh, Milos, take the floor, would you?
Oh, yes, Gamera is not Carla, but he is great still.
Okay, I've changed my mind. Milos, you are not rapping with me next time.
Oh, he failed the audition.
Oh,
Listen.
but I try. That is good sound in old country.
Listen, I wasn't feeling you, dog. You're not my dog.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. I will leave now.
I wait a minute, Milos. I really liked you. I thought you were great.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Abdul. You are really pretty. Not Carla Gugino pretty, but still fetching lady nonetheless.
I have exhaustion.
Have you been taking Adderall again?
Okay, everyone needs to get out of the fucking studio.
Oh, I was leaving until judges stopped me.
I don't know who let them in here.
Wasn't me. I was rapping.
Haha, sucker. That's right, Milos. That's what you get for not letting Montrose in.
Oh, thought I was just doing my job. He did not have shoes.
He's a monkey. He doesn't need shoes.
Oh, I will leave. I am sorry, Mr. Nathan and Mr. Brendan.
Well, you go think about what you've done.
I will. Ooh, shoes.
No, leave those alone.
But they're Mrs. Abdul's shoes. I think they're very nice.
Fine.
Okay. I would take these. Bye-bye.
Security, get everyone out of here.
Oof.
Okay.
There we go.
Is it finally? There was like 5 people in here.
That was weird. We've never had that many people in the booth before. Even when we've had Steve and Izzy on.
I mean,
maybe Tammy and the T-Rex. There was a lot of people in the booth that day.
I mean, 5 official people.
Yeah.
These people just stormed the set here.
Just showed up. Well, in fairness, I did invite Milos to come in and rap with me, but, you know.
In fairness.
It's not the same thing.
Oh, sorry. I almost got it.
Yeah.
This is a podcast.
It is.
It is called What Were They Thinking?
Mm-hmm. Not What Were They Rapping?
No, not this week. Until we do the Get Rich or Die Trying movie. And
Romeo Wants to Die. I mean, DMX is in that.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
But Get Rich or Die Trying is actually about a rapper, though.
Right.
I think. I don't remember that movie.
I don't know.
But this podcast is about bad to questionable movies, of which Get Rich or Die Trying would be one of those.
Right. But this is the one time of the year where we throw that rule right out the window and we talk about amazing movies that should be in the pantheon of cinematic greatness, in that we are discussing another Gamera movie because it is his anniversary month.
And what is your name?
My name's Nathan, by the way.
And I'm Brendan. So yes, it is that time of year, the time of year where we get cozy by the fire. We watch a Gamera movie, as it is the anniversary every November.
Yep.
And we talk about a very important turtle in the world.
Yes, the friend to all children, the guardian of the universe, Gamera.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Guardian of the Galaxy, and I was going to say, where is my crossover?
Oh my god, I would watch the hell out of that.
Hey, it's friggin' Gamera coming! Thanks, Rocket.
I am Groot.
Oh, I am Chaos. Well, this time, Nathan, you've given us Gamera versus Guiron?
Yes, as you can recall, the hint from the last episode was, if you like turtle movies, Knives Out. Because the monster in this movie that Gamera is facing has a giant knife for a nose.
Oh, and when we get to him, I have some things to say.
Okie doke. Well, I'll give you the broad strokes. The movie opens on these two curious, rambunctious children who are curious, as curious children are.
Often curious are these curious children.
And so curious that they are about the cosmos. They find themselves a crash-landed UFO. They get abducted by two fetching yet cannibalistic aliens.
Of course.
Who have what they present as a pet protector in Guiron, the the knife-nosed monster. Of course, they are saved by Gamera, and adults are idiots. That's pretty much what the takeaway from this movie.
Yeah, and children are able to master intergalactic space travel.
Of course. And they know, how fast Gamera goes. They can judge by just the naked eye that he's clearly going Mach 30. Or Mach 33, I think.
They are basically National Geographic narrators.
Yes. Yeah. And it's fitting because the movie itself opens with a monologue from, I think, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Nathan, my first note says narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson. That was because he literally starts out with the cosmos are a vast
100
universe.
billion stars. So it's either Neil deGrasse Tyson or Carl Sagan.
Now let me go through the list of movies that are inaccurate.
Billions and billions.
Oh, where's that buddy comedy? Oh, I guess Carl Sagan's no longer with us.
He passed away, yes.
But, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It was the most dour partners ever.
I don't know, man. I would love to see a movie like that with those guys, and it ends up being a very, a Bad Boys-esque action thrill ride. Michael Bay-esque explosions, and then after the explosion, they're like, well, you see, the chemical reaction within the C4...
Neil deGrasse Tyson will be constantly calling for cut, though, because he's like, is this really an accurate representation of a bullet time, as they say? Oh, that movie took 7 years to shoot. 7 years of total production? No, just to film it.
So we'll have to tag him in this and see what he thinks of the accuracy of this movie.
Just has a stroke, probably.
Yeah, because they start talking about the irregular waves that are being caught by radio towers here on Earth. So the Japanese dudes are catching some waves, brah.
And we have the great staple of many a Gamera movie dubbed over in America. is that we have clearly American actors doing like vocal imitations of Japanese people.
It was perfectly acceptable at the time.
Oh, it's just funny because like it's clearly not a Japanese
No,
person.
absolutely. No one named Smith in this movie. Well, maybe two. Maybe two.
I am from Tokyo.
And the weird thing about it is at the very first, they're a press conference about these irregular radio waves that are being received on Earth. And they make some jokes about how far away the nearest star is from Earth and how long it would take to get there and how aliens would have to come see us because we don't have the technology to go see them. Ha 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 ha. Stupid jerk aliens.
Japanese rhubarb is what I wrote. Because I didn't. They were just kind of scientists mumbling to each other.
But hey, let me ask you this: other than this part here, we don't see those scientist guys until like almost the end of the movie. All the other ones that we've done, if not aliens, but if scientists have been involved in the movie, we see them dotted throughout the movie at least. If you think Gamera versus Gauss from a couple years ago, the Ichi was helping the military, and the military was in and out of the movie. Same with the road crew. When we first did Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, all the human stories were shown on the regular. Same with Legion, despite how boring it was. This one here is like, here's some scientists. Don't get used to them because you're not going to see them all that much. But we go away from the scientists and we smash cut to what is going to be, I guess, the focus of our movie. The two precocious, curious young children that we spoke of earlier and one of their sisters.
3 shit kids, as is per the usual for these movies.
Yeah. Now, if anybody's familiar with the MST3K of this, they often compare this young fella to Richard Chamberlain. However, while watching this, I felt he looked more like Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, as he's known now.
Oh, the only non-Asian character?
Well, his mom isn't Asian either, but that's
I guess
neither
so.
here nor there. But yeah, that kid.
Yeah. I did think it was funny whenever I saw him being dubbed because I was like, "Wait, what? Is he? I wonder if, like, in the original version, he's still speaking in English, but it's like different dialogue."
Well, that's not the first time they've done it either. In Gamera versus Virus, Gamera versus Virus, the one of the kids is American, and they dub him over as well. And I think possibly in Gamera versus Jiger as well. Yeah.
Well then. But yes, 3 kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where this is. I'm assuming this is right at this point in the movie, but while they're riding their bicycles, the song that's playing is amazing.
Well, that's boo boo doo ba doo.
It's just like the goofiest, like, crazy song just like right in the middle of this. I guess it makes sense in this movie, but is this where they run into Japanese Don Knotts? Yes,
whose name is Kondo, but will forever live in infamy as Cornjob.
Is that a Mystery Science Theater thing?
Yep. When he was introduced, they said his name, and Joel was like, they say his name was Cornjob?
See, this is one of the few Mystery Science Theater ones where the movie played, and I actually, not intentionally, but started tuning out the comments.
Yeah.
Because I was, like, fascinated by the movie. So Kondo, aka Cornjob, aka Japanese Don Knotts.
Yep.
And he's also a police officer, which I was like, what?
See, I didn't know if he was was he a full-on police officer? I thought he was just like a security guy.
I think so, because I think they call him a police officer, and he shows up later in like his full uniform.
Okay. Yeah. Checks out.
Fact check. Did we fact check that? Sheila, can we get a ruling?
He's a cop.
Okay, thanks, Sheila. Oh,
No
God.
problem.
She's great. I love Sheila.
Yeah, she's great. She's a good addition to the team.
Yeah. Cut those fingernails.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we're finding them everywhere, is what I'm saying. But that's the only thing. Other than that, you're great, Sheila.
Thanks.
She's very verbose.
You gave you your $5 words.
Oh, Sheila. So he's like, when they run into Corn Job. He's like practicing sword fighting.
It looked like he was practicing like some sort of kata or something like that.
Oh my God, Jim Kata?
No, corn kata, apparently.
Oh shit. That's the next wave. That's the sequel. Jim Kata, the next wave. Corn Kata.
Japanese Don Knotts saving people in fictional Eastern European countries.
Yeah, when's that movie getting made?
As soon as they get all my letters.
Oh, and they bring Don Knotts back to life. Wah, 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 wah. So the plot, Nathan.
Well, they're trying to sneak past old Japanese Don Knotts, and apparently young Dean Ambrose has a dart gun that is powered by CO2 cartridges, because the darts are strong enough to pick up old Corn Job's towel and stick it to the wall with a suction cup to distract him.
Well, would you say that him doing this is the character embarking on some dirty deeds?
I see what you did there. Oh, we're clever.
Mm-hmm. All the non-wrestling fans are like, what? What the fuck? Just move on.
But Corn Job is not to be fooled or deterred, because he realizes what's up, and he catches the
kid?
the not Dean Ambrose kid.
Oh, Itchy 2.
Yeah, there you go. riding his bike, double riding with his sister, actually, and that's what gets old Corn Job upset, because it's not safe. You're not supposed to be doing it, and if I catch you doing it again, I'm gonna shave your head.
That was a strange threat,
right?
Other than I think it was foreshadowing,
but it does come up later, and they present it as he asked him if he did it as an act of, like, I don't know, penance. So maybe it's a way of showing, like, you're humbling yourself or asking for forgiveness, is to shave your head.
Shave your head.
Yeah.
That's the original lyrics to Bang Your Head.
Well, that was the version that they used when they signed that super lucrative deal with Gillette.
That's one of my favorite commercials.
Yeah. So they go past. Corn Job lets them go, and they're off on their adventure like the Goonies, looking for what they believe is at first a crashed meteorite, because they saw in the telescope a meteorite fall to Earth, and this is when the kid kind of explains to his mom that they're hoping to find a new world where there's no war or traffic accidents.
I missed that line.
He says it like a dozen times in this movie.
No war or traffic accidents.
Yep. And I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like a lost in translation when they did the dub for it, but it's weird because he says it a lot of times.
I'm just thinking of, like, John Lennon rewriting Imagine.
No traffic accidents either.
Imagine there's no hit and runs.
So But they don't find the asteroid. They find a landed UFO. And they take some conveniently placed stairs that are in the side of a dirt wall.
Of course. You know how, like, when you go to a dirt wall and there's stairs?
Right. And they run down these dirt stairs. And lo and behold, it's like I said, a crashed or landed UFO. Or at least a matte painting of one.
Oh, man. When they're standing in front of it looking at it, it's the most obvious matte painting.
Yeah. And then, of course, they do the old trick where they cut the camera to the other vantage point, and then they're walking up a flight of stairs into the spaceship.
Yep.
Yeah. Young Dean Ambrose and his friend are fooling around inside the spaceship. The sister's outside saying, "You stop, you'll get a spanking," or something like that.
And they pretty calmly get in that spaceship and start flying it.
They just start flipping around all the switches, and his friend gives like a super fast countdown.
Yep.
Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off.
It's almost like they had to match the mouth movements and he wasn't actually counting.
It's a possibility.
I do like that they get in and are immediately like, yeah, we're flying this thing. Yeah, no big deal. Like, they're not worried at all. Except for the sister who keeps crying, "Brother! Akio! Akio! Brother!"
Oh, there we go. That's his name, Akio. Thank you.
Akio.
All right.
Yeah, the wrestler, the member of the Young Dragons in WCW.
Could not remember his name, so you'll have to forgive me.
Akio.
Akio.
I think this you were talking about how they spot Gamera
Yes.
in space, and Akio is like, he's going Mach 30.
Mach 33. If he were to hit Mach 60, he'd leave the solar system.
I feel like it's these kids are actually, specifically Akio, is there to like tell us what Gamera is really doing the whole time, because obviously these are, this is a very, very, very low budget movie, and I mean, sometimes it looks like he's doing something absolutely ridiculous. Now, Akio is there to be like, no, this is what Gamera is really doing.
Yeah.
He is the special effects budget, is what I'm saying.
Well, yes, they're just describing it. It's like, ooh, it'd be like, what was there? Was a fantastic. Oh, South Park did an episode where Kenny was controlling the armies of heaven, and they wouldn't show the They couldn't show the battle, right? So they have this guy's like, "Oh my God, it's one of the most sweeping, epic battles. Is that an orc dragon?" They're not showing any of it. They're just describing everything. It's fantastic.
And of course, they're all about, like, in every Gamera movie, we get Gamera is a friend. He is a friend to children. As if by the fifth one, we don't know that.
Right?
Like, I'm pretty sure
by the first one, he saves a kid from falling, to his death.
I was gonna say he's like a good guy right away, is he not? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like how little Dean Ambrose is just there to be like, uh-huh.
So what happens here next is the ship starts to pick up speed because it's being remote controlled. All right? They've gotten in it. They think they're controlling it, but we come to find out that it's actually being controlled by somebody else. Yeah. So as it's taking off going faster, Gamera has to try to catch up, and he's twirling towards the spaceship. I just wanted to do that, and he was still going too slow.
Mm-hmm. Gamera cannot catch that kid.
No. And so we go back to Earth where Akio's sister is explaining to her mother that her brother has gone missing.
And it was nice to see Yardley Smith get voice work in the 60s.
She explains it, and the mother, rather than taking it seriously that her son and his friend could be missing or abducted, "You're being silly. If you don't stop this, you won't study and get into a good school." What the fuck is that?
The Japanese education system is very important.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's like obviously you don't have to believe your infant daughter that it's a spaceship, but I mean, if your kids aren't if two of the kids aren't there and she's saying that they're gone somewhere, I mean, at least look into it a little bit.
Yeah. So the sister's upset that her mother doesn't believe her, and were you expecting a song here?
Yes,
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
As soon as she walked over and did her little like stance when she was leaning or whatever, I was like, oh my God, what? And then it didn't happen.
Me.
No one believes me about the spaceship.
Exactly.
My brother and Dean Ambrose flew away.
Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. Gamera will help them if he flies Mach 36. I just hope their brains don't get eaten by cannibalistic aliens.
Whoa! Don't give it all away. Jeez, kid. Knock it off.
Sorry. Anyway, that's it for me, God.
Because the whole time she's praying that, that her brother will be okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. As one does. As one does.
It's a very hidden Christian propaganda film.
Yeah. So what is next? Let's see here. Oh, we do go back to the kids, young Dean Ambrose and Ichabod.
Ichabod.
Akio. And they've crashed and are waking up in a very suggestive pose.
Oh man, I am really glad you mentioned it because I wrote it down and I was like, do I want to mention this?
It's just reaching across his crotch.
And not only that, but when Akio or Ichabod Crane or whatever, when he comes to, he just he doesn't pick up his hand. He drags it across his friend. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to get arrested. But they do have some more great rear projection stuff.
Yeah, because they start exploring around, which is essentially a planet, although they keep calling it a star, but it's a planet.
Which they can just, they really take their chances with the fact that they can breathe on this planet.
Yeah, right?
They just kind of go out there and it's fine.
Not worried about, ending up like, the dude at the end of Total Recall.
Man, the movie would have taken a dark turn.
His heads just start
child murder in a fucking Gamera film?
Never gonna happen.
No, not on Gamera's watch.
Right?
Is it at this point that we see Space Gauss?
Yes. And
yeah.
We see Space Gauss. Or Gauss's non-union Mexican counterpart. Because
El Gausso.
Yeah, he's Gauss, but he's painted silver. Mm-hmm. And there's an interesting tidbit because it's a tidbit that's interesting. Right, it's an interesting tidbit.
Right.
There was supposed to be another monster in this movie that wasn't Gauss. Okay, mm-hmm. It was supposed to be complete, but they didn't have the budget, so they painted a Gauss suit silver and called him Space Gauss.
Because it almost looked to me, the way it was presented, it was almost like we don't quite have the rights to our own creation, so we're just gonna call it Space Gauss.
Nope, nothing like that. Just we don't have the budget to come up with a completely new monster.
And then Nathan, the greatest thing of all time happens in this scene. Mm-hmm. Is the debut of quite possibly my favorite character in any movie we've ever done.
Okay.
Guiron.
Yeah?
The fucking knife dog.
Yep.
It's the best. Picture, if you would, folks, a giant dog-like creature, or maybe like a shark. Like a shark dog.
Almost.
With a knife for a face.
Yeah, for a nose.
And shoots ninja stars. that explode, I think.
No, they just they stick because remember they couple of them stick in Gamera later, but
Possibly the best creation.
so Guiron comes out and starts fighting Space Gauss, and I watched the version that was on Tubi, and you did the same, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I did that because I wanted to make sure we were both watching the same movies. I didn't want to have a Showgirls 2 type situation.
Wait, your movie did not have a pool scene?
Did not, no.
Oh, shit. Yeah, in mine, Gauss and Guiron got down.
Oh, in the Shout Factory DVD release and the original Japanese cut of this movie, the fight between Gauss and Guiron is actually quite longer.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I noticed that mine was pretty... My version was pretty short.
Yep, because Guiron, of course, is victorious, but in his victory, he chops up Space Gauss with his knife nose.
Oh,
Cuts his head straight off.
man.
Yeah.
I feel like I was robbed.
Well, we'll have the opportunity to revisit this years down the road when we've run out of original Gamera movies to watch.
Uh-oh. Wait a second. What does that mean?
We're in it to win it.
Oh, boy. Gamera, King of Monsters. Wait, what's that one called? Super Monster.
Super Monster. Okay, the year that we cover that one, the following year, we're revisiting another Gamera movie because that is the last fucking Gamera movie I ever want to watch. Fucking hate that movie. The only thing that's interesting in that movie at all is the ridiculous 80s stuff that's going on because it's the only one that takes place outside of like the 60s and early 70s. It takes place, I was like 81 or something along those lines, and it's wild and terrible all at the same time. Someone gets offered to go to hamburger lunch. Nobody talks like that.
Wait, is Gamera like navigating during like the AIDS crisis and shit?
No, it's not that late into the 80s.
Okay.
So, but anyways, back to Guiron.
He's the best, the absolute best.
Around. Nothing in the world will bring him down.
No, because he's got a fucking knife for a face.
Yep, old Mac the knife.
Oh, that shark bites with its knife, dear.
So, the boys, they're trying to escape getting in the middle of this whole fight between Guiron and the Space Gauss. And they find the transportation pods and use one and end up right next to Guiron and push the opposite button. Because shit has opposite buttons, I guess.
Yeah, you know, like how every button has an opposite button thing.
Yeah.
They also know how to use everything.
Well, okay, so they managed to bumble their way inside one of the buildings on this planet. They all look like Howard Johnson's from like the 1960s. Like, Google it, kids. You'll have a blast. And inside this, they have what they describe as a moving corridor, and it's really not. It's a moving platform going down a corridor.
Yeah, it is. It is clearly a conveyor belt.
Yeah. And they only figure that out because one of them stands on it by accident, and it keeps going. And he's like, I'm scared. He can look around. He can see that the rest of the room is not moving. The floor opposite of where he's standing is not moving, so he could just step off. Does he do that? No.
I thought he did and then jumped back on.
No, Akio says, step off of it. And he's like, oh. And then he steps off.
So it was Akio that saved the day.
Yes. And then they're like, okay, well, you know what? Let's let's just jump back on and ride down the corridor. And our two young foils are being observed by Alvin and the Chipmunks.
What?
Well, the alien ladies, before we get to hear their, I guess, translated or altered voice, like,
That's right.
they sound like Jawas or Ewoks or something.
See, this would be the point where Carl Sagan could come in because it's Pink Lady and Carl.
Right.
You know, that show that everybody loved?
Yeah. Everyone loved. It was
didn't-
Boffo.
Wasn't insulting to anyone, you know, that show?
That's a deep cut, man.
Well, if anyone knows what Pink Lady and Carl is, get at us on Twitter. You know what? You're on the show. You're the third co-host.
You'll be-
I guess Steve and Izzy are going to be on every week.
No Mormons.
Oh, shit. Gauntlet thrown down.
Well, that'll keep them out. They're in Utah now, so.
Fucking Utah Ians.
Where are we at? Okay, the Chipmunks and what thing there and the whatnot.
Yeah, they put their English translators on.
Yes, but before they do that, they carry on a conversation right in front of the kids, which is exceedingly rude. I mean, really, when you get right down to it.
Well, you know, Nathan, I know, like, you know, it's 2019. If you go to another culture's planet, I mean, you can't just, like, expect everyone to speak English.
Except for when they put on, auto translators.
Yeah, when they put on their dog collar things.
Right.
then it's anyone's game.
And it is really cold on that planet.
It is super cold on the planet for the perverted reason that I'm sure we're both thinking of. And also, you can see everyone's breath.
I didn't see nipples, but I saw breath.
Yeah. No, and even back in the early scenes when, like, they were just talking to, like, Don Knotts, you could see everyone's breath there, too.
But that's fine. They're outside in the middle of the day on Earth. They're inside on this planet.
That's true. I can only imagine how not fun this shoot was. You know, child labor laws and such as they were in 1967?
Yeah, something like that.
Sorry, kid, you're working 14-hour days.
Now meet Flogu and Barbarella. Those two ladies are the queens of the furtive glance.
Oh yeah.
Every time you turn around, they're like looking at each other. It's like, okay, we get it. They're clearly the villains.
Really? I thought it was really subtle.
Yeah. About as subtle as William Fichtner in Ninja Turtles.
Oh, look, it's William and he's the villain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But fear not, young Asian and American child. Gamera is on the case.
Gamera.
Gamera is really neat. He is full of turtle meat. We all love you, Gamera.
Thank you, Sandy Frank.
So yeah, Gamera is he's looking for the fellas, the kids there, and what we got coming up here is the alien ladies start to give off a real to serve man vibe, and the kids must be just absolutely oblivious not to pick up on the fact that these women are clearly going to eat them. I don't get. They must have some sort of, I don't know, disconnect where they can't read emotion or something, because you just watching those two space alien ladies exchange back and forth, they're up to something.
Yeah, it's not like they're looking at each other being like, wow, it's really great hanging out with these awesome kids.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll all be best friends and we'll go out for milkshakes after.
So, yeah. So they leave the kids in like a waiting area, and then they go in and start a hypno interrogation of Ichabod.
That waiting area, man. Even on a different planet, you gotta deal with bureaucracy.
Right? At least they were able to to make him think of his mom's donuts while they were This really happened in the movies, guys. Like, I mean, it sounds like we're having this disjointed conversation where we're saying the most random and surreal things, but these are all things that happened in this movie. It is amazing.
I thought it was funny that they like out of all the things Mom could have been famous for making, it was donuts.
Yeah.
like I don't know, like pie. Like you'd think it was dubbed by Americans. They put in like Mom's apple pie or something. Or like, you know, maybe they go the opposite route and be like, oh, Mom's chow mein is really good or something. I don't know.
Teriyaki. Now there you go.
Mom's stir fry.
But I mean, what kid's gonna be like? Mom's stir fry is the best.
Mom's making goulash again.
Right. It's got to be a sweet dessert. Mm-hmm. So,
well, little did he know, Mom just bought her donuts from Dunkin'.
Well, Japan runs on Dunkin', so
it does now.
That's what I've been told.
Oh, it's time to make the donuts.
Yes. And during the hypno-interrogation, we get another thing that apparently pops up in Gamera movies all the time. Previously on Gamera.
Oh, we just see him fighting a bunch of monsters.
Yeah, and the kid's telling the stories about how Gamera saved the first kid, how he saved Itchy, how from Gauss, and how he fought Gauss and defeated him, how he defeated Baragon. No kids in that movie. And finally, how he beat Virus, because that was the kids who were trapped in the submarine under the sea.
Did he defeat Freddy or Jason?
Gamera?
Yeah.
I believe he defeated Jason. Nothing can defeat Freddy.
The tagline of that movie, whoever wins, we lose.
Moving on.
Wouldn't that be great if Freddy vs. Jason had a sequel? Freddy vs. Jason versus Gamera.
Yeah. I is here where I noted that Gamera versus Virus is actually a pretty fun Gamera movie as well.
I was going to say, the thing I wrote down while they were showing all these fights is, and if you don't remember this Gamera fight from another movie, here is most of it.
Yeah. and so after all this, this is when we get the true plan of Carl and Pink Lady. Mm-hmm. They're gonna eat their brains. The brains. Yes, apparently, not only zombies are into devouring the cerebral cortex of a human being, but Asian aliens from Earth 2, apparently.
Yep, them and the tar zombie from Return of the Living Dead.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all the zombies from Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I didn't mean to single out the tar zombie. I don't want to be accused of being zombie racist, but the zombie covered in tar in that movie is the one that first shouts out brains.
Yes.
So,
So after all this, we do go back to Earth, and we find out that young Dean Ambrose's mom is Twiggy. She had a very British look about her, and she was quite slight.
Yeah, and definitely not her voice.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I still think is really funny.
Yeah. She meets up with Akio's mom, and she's like, have you seen Akio and Tom? She's like, my kid said they got on a spaceship, but she's a lying bitch. Words to that effect.
I believe that's the actual line.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, well, if you see them, and she gets in the car and goes to drive off. It's like, your kid is fucking missing. The lady who was supposed to be responsible for his safety has not seen him.
Yeah, just get Don Knotts on the case, why don't you?
So, as she's driving away, Akio's sister jumps up from the back seat, and I have a note, and then she garroted her.
Fucking Godfathers her.
Yeah, just choking out Tom's mom.
You didn't believe me. God, another dark turn from Gamera versus Guiron.
I feel Tom's mom should have just slapped the shit out of her, hiding away in her back seat and stuff like that. You know what? If there's anything I learned from this movie, it's that apparently if you listen to your kid, it'll make them dumb. Because that's one of the arguments that's put forth is like, oh, you know what? If you listen to everything your kids say and take what they say seriously, they'll be stupid.
This kid, this shit kid is telling her the truth though.
Right.
Yeah.
And they refuse to believe her because, if they believe her, she'll be dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after that, we go back to the planet, and Barbella and Flavella, or whatever her name is, Pink Lady and Carl, roofied the kids. Because they gave them donuts that were drugged.
Yeah, powder donuts.
Yeah, we know what kind of powder. Although they went to sleep, so I don't think it's that kind of powder.
Oh, maybe it has a reverse effect on them because they're kids. I don't know how cocaine
it's
works.
Heroin. It's heroin. That's
Heroin?
what it is.
It's white heroin.
Yeah.
Heroin's
Kinda
white.
white.
Yeah. Clearly, I don't know anything about drugs.
Clearly.
Well, as soon as heroin gets legalized in Canada, I'll partake. October 17th next year.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he ain't winning another term if that happens. It's at this point, I think, where they're the kids are like talking about being hungry or whatever. One of them's like, "I'm so hungry," and then Akio's like, "I'm not hungry. I'm just thirsty."
Well, because when he was hypno interrogated, they made him believe that he had ate like a plateful of his mom's donuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he wasn't hungry. He was just thirsty.
The way it was delivered, though, it just sounded so contrary. I'm hungry. I'm just thirsty.
Yeah, I'm not hungry. So whatever.
You mentioned the aliens like wanting to eat their brains and stuff. Mm-hmm. Their plot is basically like their motivation is basically I'll eat your brains and gain your knowledge.
That's exactly.
I'm pretty sure that they mentioned that, and I'm like, holy shit, that's what Robert Rodriguez definitely watched this. So the kid at this point, I think Akio hears Gamera in space. Somehow.
Okay, so it's all right.
Or does he have that mind meld with him?
Something like that. It's not exactly explained. But when Gamera does show up, and I think it's more that Gamera knows where the kids are versus the kids having some sort of mental connection with them. Right. He shows up on the planet, and they release Guiron. Guiron then gets into a tussle with Gamera. To it, I noted, no means no, Guiron. Because he starts leg humping Gamera.
Oh, is this where he like also slowly starts like gnawing at him?
Yes.
With the knife thing. I think this scene is approximately 2 hours.
Well, because he's trying to cut through his shell. Through Gamera's
just like,
shell. Yeah. Yes.
Oh man. But the aliens then, like you said, they have date rape drugged those children.
Yes, that's just they have.
And it's at this point where the shave your head line comes back into play. Mm-hmm. Because old Don Knotts, we learned was a prophet, because one of the aliens starts shaving Akio's head and is about to cut his fucking skull open.
Well, yeah, you don't want hair in your food.
No, that's true. And everybody knows when you get soup at a restaurant, that's the last thing you want.
Right.
So she gets ready to slurp them brains, and then I don't remember why she gets stopped, but she stops from doing it.
Well,
I think
they
it's because Gamera shows up.
yes, he shows up and they start fighting. Guiron and Gamera does, and Gamera's like, you know what? He's gonna breathe fire on Guiron, and Guiron's like, no, I got ninja stars in my nose.
He fucks him up, and then Gamera just picks up snow and tries to like
Just
cool
pack it
down
on
the
his-
burns.
Yeah, cool it down.
And Gamera gets his fucking ass kicked because this is the usual formula where, like you said in our last time we did get Gamera movie, Gamera has to lose the Royal Rumble title match.
Right.
But then, he makes his comeback at WrestleMania later.
Yep.
Yeah, so he gets sent into like the bottom of the ocean at this point.
Well, the body of water that's on that planet, I guess.
I mean, the lake, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dead. That's it for Gamera. He's gone.
Well, you can't say that because you just gave away the booking.
God damn it. Fuck. I'm like Howard Finkel accidentally announcing Triple H as the champion at the beginning of the Iron Man match against The Rock.
There you go.
That's a deep cut for you.
So yeah, he ends up under the water, which is kind of
Under
a
the
go-to
sea.
thing. Yes.
Under the sea, Gamera's better. Down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Under the sea, he comes to life. He's gonna fight with all his might. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. I got my same piece.
We go back to Earth, where the reporters are actually now starting to take people seriously.
And I wrote down, oh my god, Japanese photographer. Oh wait. Yeah, they just got like mobbed by the press.
Yep.
And by the way, that girl, she is totally getting a book deal.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And again, this is where the parents are, the adults are kind of presented as idiots, because everyone believes the little girl, and that the parents did not. So much so that the scientists show up to be like, yeah, we totally believe you because something did crash land.
And they're like, wait, didn't you believe your child? And she's like, of course not.
Because
I just figured
believe them, they makes them dumb.
I just figured my child ran away and we could never find him again. Stupid parents in this movie.
Where are we at now? Oh, this is
the plot. It's
all
tough
over the place. But Gamera starts to wake up at the bottom of the sea. And
did you just do an accent intentionally?
No.
Oh, it sounded like you were like, Gamera starts to wake up at the bottom of the sea.
The bottom of the sea there.
There's friggin' Gamera.
Well, that's what Gamera does there.
He makes his friggin' comeback. Hey, it's friggin' Gamera. Hey,
Nothing's over. Just give him something to drink.
Gamera, I fucked him.
Whoa.
Whoa, Andrew.
There.
Andrew, calm down over there. Oh, fuck that turtle. No worries. No dice. Hey. Anyway, I gotta go do a show with Roseanne. I'm out. Oh, shit. That's gonna go well.
Yeah, of course it will.
Well, I mean, similar acts, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. Gamera awakens.
And this is going to be the beginning of the big fight. Before that happens, so he wakes up on the seabed. For some reason, I have bank shot listed as a note. Don't know why.
I'm not sure.
No, but there is a Guiron knife attack. We find out that Barbarella is a cold bitch. Because her friend is injured in a saucer crash.
Oh yeah, and she's
like, help me. And she's like, you know the rules of our planet. The weak are eliminated. Boom! And just fucking kills her.
Mercy kills her, yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay. Gamera, he's waking up, bottom of the ocean, and I'm like, come on, just sit up, straight up, like the Undertaker. Come on, Gamera.
I'm a real American.
But he rolls over and gets up, which
the rights of every man.
Which leads me to wonder if he really is a turtle.
I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for those kids' lives.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to finish that there.
I was hyping you up.
Okay. Well, they get into a tussle, and old Guiron is actually starting to destroy the city, I guess, for lack of a better term, because the alien ladies, or lady now, they don't have control over Guiron, because
no, he's free.
Yeah, and he just starts wrecking up the stuff, and there's one point where he's trashing some of the city. I'm like, oh, dude, he wrecked that sweet bong, because like one of the I mean, come on, there's a tube going down into a bowl-like structure. If you tell me with a serious face that it's not a bong, I can't trust you.
Well, this was made in the 60s.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a bong.
Absolutely was.
Yeah, and thankfully Gamera pops up like the Fiend.
Yeah, and they're squaring off, because I have a note here that says, fight! Mortal Kombat! But the fight actually ends up Gamera doing some work on the not balance beams, but the uneven bars.
Oh, best shot ever. That is like one of the few Gamera gifs you can find on Twitter.
That one and another one from this movie where it happens almost like right after when he sticks the landing.
Yep.
He's going to get into a fight with Guiron. The ninja stars out of his nose come out. Again, this is really in the movie. Seek it out, people. He shoots the ninja stars, or shuriken, at Gamera. They get stuck in his arms, and he starts doing a fucking mariachi cucaracha dance.
And the best part about that is that Dean Ambrose is like, oh, he's doing a go-go dance, and Ichabod Crane, the headless horseman, is like, no, he's what is he saying?
Trying to get the metal out of his hands because he can't.
And I was like,
pull in his shell.
I was like, no, kid, he's doing a go-go dance
because he's saying that he can't pull in his legs into his shell because the metal is preventing it from retracting his legs.
And then they proceed to have the best underwater fight ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bite your tongue, Thunderball.
Right.
Yeah. This is how you do it. I also noted that Gamera has a lot of positive reinforcement in his life. Because all the shots of, like, when they have the fight and then they cut back to the kids, like, almost after everything that happens, and they're like, yeah, Gamera, yeah,
You're
go,
the greatest,
yeah,
Gamera, woohoo!
Which I guess is like every Gamera movie, but it felt especially egregious in this one.
Well, with any of the ones that have multiple kids, you get that. Because the kids, again, like you said in this one, they're talking back and forth to each other, kind of describing what's going on and explaining what Gamera is doing. Mm-hmm. That's a go-to move in, I think, just about every other Gamera movie that has like a two-handed kid exchange.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, they're there to explain the special effects.
Yes. Yep.
But that other alien girl gets killed. I don't remember what happens to her.
Well, she's trying to get away at one point. And she jumps on one of the moving pads that go down the corridor. And I have a note, she could walk faster than that.
Yeah, that conveyor belt is not fast.
Not fast at all, no. But she does end up getting killed.
Yeah, she's like disappears. I just wrote that it looked like she was killed by Goldfinger.
Yeah, because, okay, so as all this is going on, she's trying to get away. Gamera is fighting Guiron. The kids somehow launch the missile defense system. Gamera catches one of the missiles, dodges one of the missiles, and then throws the missile at Guiron, and bloop, right in the part of his nose where his shuriken are stored.
Mm-hmm. And he straight pile drives his face into the ground.
Oh my god, that was amazing. It's like one of the best pile drivers I've ever seen. But while this is going on, because all this wreckage is happening, and I think it's because he dodged the missile and it hit the building that the alien lady was in, it blew up and she dies and then just fades away. So this proves she was a Jedi. Or Sith. I mean,
I was going to say that if Gamera pulled off that pile driver in Memphis, he definitely would have got DQ'd.
well, yes, because it's outlawed there.
Well, especially that one, though.
Yeah, it's because it's so high up.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think at this point, so Guiron is dead as fuck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the kids end up in Gamera's hand in a next level, terribly hilarious special effects shot.
I gotta think that for the 1960s, that probably looked pretty great.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. But so he puts the kids in the spaceship, and they can't fly the spaceship because it's been cleaving in two. And how does he repair the ship? He
How does he
holds it
repair the
together. I'll tell you. He
Okay.
holds and he unleashes his fire breath to weld the ship back together.
Oh boy.
And then he carries them back to Earth in his mouth like a dog returning a frisbee.
It's at this point I wrote down Gamera is a friend to children. I under fucking stand.
Well, and I guess there's that, and then there's also the scene where a real cut where quick one where Akio and Tom are talking to each other about what's going on, and then they turn to each other and they shake hands, but their hands are down out of shot of the frame. And I'm like, I really hope that was a handshake.
Well, Nathan,
I mean-
based on what we saw earlier,
Yeah, I mean, cool. If Gamera versus Guiron is that woke in 1967, this is a super progressive movie.
yeah, I mean, like I said, you never know. But we do get a very subtle environmental message at the end.
Just a slight one.
Yeah, just staring down the barrel of the camera.
But so when the spaceship comes back, Akio's sister and all the people are running to meet him, and I have a note. It looks like it hurts to run for Akio's sister, because every time she runs in this movie, she looks like she's in excruciating pain.
It's probably because she's in hour 12 of 13 for shooting that day.
Okay.
Like I said, child labor laws were lax.
Fair.
That's my theory.
So, but as you said, we do get a real subtle and just ever so slight environmental / socio-political message.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where it cuts off.
Because he talks again about, planet without wars or car accidents.
Right.
And says we need to do that here.
Imagine there's no traffic jams. No one honking their horn. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So Gamera versus Guiron. Mm-hmm. Nathan, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna know the answer here, but would you recommend this one?
100%, especially if you can get your hands on a copy of the like super crisp Shout Factory releases that have the extra long Space Gauss fight.
I will say that this was the most I was entertained by watching one of these so far.
Okay.
So I think Gamera, what is it, Guardian of the Universe?
Yeah, that was the first one we did.
Yeah, that one was like entertaining and also like had some like a decent sort of special effects at times.
Some production value.
Yeah, some production value, exactly. This one was absolutely insanely ridiculous, and I wouldn't give up a single minute.
Good.
The fact that the craziest part of this movie wasn't that there was a flying turtle who shoots fire out of his mouth should tell you something. So, there you have it. It's a double recommend.
Yes.
And we gotta I mean we gotta take a break because that is Gamera versus Guiron. We'll be right back.
What were they thinking?
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLOCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLOCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk.
What were they thinking?
And we're back.
Hey, we are back.
We're back. A dinosaur story.
Coming soon?
Probably. I remember it being awful.
Yes.
But Nathan, this is the point of the show where we do the low haiku. And why don't you explain to the folks what the low haiku is?
Well, the low haiku is the poetry of Gamera's people. 17 perfect syllables to describe the amazing movie that we just watched. And more often than not, an appearance from Gauss usually happens, as he is a friend of the low haiku.
He quite enjoys it. Shall I begin this time?
Oh, please.
Okay. Gamera, you're great. Guiron is a damn knife dog, so he's got my vote.
Yes, Gauss approves.
He likes Guiron, even though he lost to him. There's valor in defeat.
Well, this is Gauss, not Space Gauss.
Right, those are two different Gausses.
Different Gausses.
I am sorry. Oh God, I hope this doesn't. # please don't cancel me.
Right. I think Gauss knows that you're not saying that all Gauss look alike.
# not all Gauss.
Right. You're woke.
Thank you. I'm Gauss woke.
I have my haiku here. Gamera is neat. He's replete with turtle meat. We love Gamera. Well, thank you for the constructive criticism, Gauss. I know, but hey, I only have 17 syllables to use. Thank you.
Wonderful as always.
Okay, here we go.
Back out.
So, Gamera versus Guiron. You should take our word for it, but what do we always say?
Well, just to be safe, we always say...
Don't take a word for it.
That's right. This hurt. This was so obviously we go to Rotten Tomatoes here and we see that the critics not applicable. This
There's
is an
one
older-
critic review.
One critic review, but I mean overall it's an NA rating.
Yeah.
Audience rating is 25%.
They don't know how to have fun.
Oh, well, there's one critic's rating. Do you want this one?
Tim Brayton from Agony and Ecstasy. He gave it a rotten rating. This morbidly curious would be better off... Oh, sorry. The morbidly curious, rather, would be better off watching American producer Sandy Frank's VHS dub from the 80s. At least that's so outlandishly incompetent that it's funny. I'm guessing he's reviewing the Japanese non-dubbed version.
I was going to say I think the Sandy Frank one was the one I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like Attack of the Monsters or something was the actual title that you screen on the screen.
Yeah, he thinks that people come from trees.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's already time, Nathan.
Yes, we have to jump into the doldrums because that was the only critic review.
Well, this is a review from Carlos I, and he gives it half a star.
Fucking Carlos.
Yeah, you'll have to find him, just like Malco had to find all those reviewers from last week.
Kick some ass. Kick some ass.
He says, "Oh my good sweet lord. You really had to be a kid in the 60s to enjoy this, didn't you? LOL. Woo boy."
Well, this is from Christopher H. And he's got a lengthy review here, but I'll just get the best stuff. So silly and campy, but so much fun at the same time. Guiron is probably the strangest Gamera villain in the franchise. He is not. Who has an axe for a head, it's a knife,
That's a knife,
and can
thank
shoot
you.
shurikens. The two kid protagonists, Akio and Tom, make a pretty good duo. The plot is almost like a sci-fi retelling of Hansel and Gretel. The film makes it interesting seeing the duo's efforts to escape the two alien women. And the two alien women are good villains. The setting on the planet Terra is charming for its homemade feel.
Oh my
i.e.
god.
cheap.
Holy shit, it is like Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. And he gave it 3.5 stars, so good on you, Christopher.
All right. This is from Vuk S, and he gives it 2.5 stars.
Okay.
He or she, so I'm not sure. This is a pretty bizarre addition to the Gamera franchise. Basically, the series got more and more centered towards children. Nevertheless, here we witness some pretty disturbing shit, including monsters being cut into pieces and alien women trying to cannibalize two young boys. As for the villain, I really liked Guiron's design. I feel like he was the only interesting thing about this cheesy movie. This is basically where I stopped with the Dai Gamera films, because I couldn't stand how childish it all became.
Became, like, I mean...
This was the only one.
It's like every Gamera movie, except for Gamera versus Baragon, is kid-centric.
I think and every other Gamera movie is basically for this guy is like 7.
Yeah.
And this movie is the only cheesy one.
Well, okay, so Graydon B says probably the second best of the originals. Gamera versus Guiron may be bad, but it's insanely entertaining. 2 stars.
Okay, so he gave it a legit movie rating.
Yeah.
This is from Mark W. 3 stars. This is short and sweet. This movie is better written than Avatar.
Oh. I'm not gonna lie, he's not wrong.
I'm not. I will confess right now to not being an Avatar hater, unless we're talking about The Last Airbender.
Did I see that? I think I saw that.
Oh, coming soon, probably.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so Wes S says
Yeah,
the
I like
worst in the Gamera film series, in my opinion, but to be honest, it's one of the better... That's not how that works.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to get it.
It's one of the better stories. The kids are incredibly annoying, and this film and the plot is pretty stupid with cheesy ...
Cheesy ... yeah.
Fucking Rotten Tomatoes. But he gave it 2.5 stars.
Fair enough. I've got one more here, and it's a 5-star review, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
It's from Pan L. Now, I'm going to try to read this as it's written, so don't try to make sense of it.
Okay.
I'm having it as I write, parentheses, on Sumo TV. I'm officially being caught at watching telly. Well, close parentheses. Japanese rubber pearl. Honest and absolutely beautiful.
Did he try to haiku it or something?
I think he used Alta Vista Babelfish. Which I don't think exists anymore.
Okay. I think I got one last one I can give you here from Michael H. A pretty damn good entry in the Gamera franchise, famous for containing Gamera spinning on a pole. This time, Gamera must rescue 2 children from a distant planet. That's it. I'm sure there's more, but fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
What's his rating?
4 stars.
Oh, okay.
4 stars. Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's not a lot of reviews on the Rotten Tomatoes for these movies.
And plus, anyone that's like 4 stars or less is wrong. So you just ignore them.
Yeah, especially so. Pan L is the most correct person, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, Japanese rubber pearl. You know.
At least he chose the poetry of the people.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Gamera vs. Guiron is all wrapped up. We both said we'd recommend it. The people obviously love it. Even if they don't, they're just in denial. Not just a river in Africa. We should talk about what's coming next week.
Yes.
This is going to be my little pick next week. So I'll give a little hintsky, a little hintaroo, a little clue,
Hintarama,
a little preview.
It's a slight telling of a sentence that will give just the ever so glimpse into what the movie might be.
Yep.
Okay.
Thrashin was a pussy.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Accurate.
Yeah, so that's next week.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, Montrose Monkington, is he in the house, as they say?
Yes. I shall get him.
Okay.
Hello, it's good friend Montrose Monkington III here. And I would like to say I've been being treated considerably better here at your studios, so thank you for that, good sirs.
No problem. More later.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, sorry.
All right. First, I must say, please do head on over to my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV. I will actually be covering the Grey Cup coming up here soon, which is the Canadian football championship. Then once you've seen those videos, you can go to Facebook and join Montrose Monkington III Esquire and friends. Be a friend of Montrose, because he will be a friend to you. And then finally, you can follow me on the Twitter at Montrose III. That's the number 3RD. I don't know who that bastard over on the other podcast who's imitating me thinks he is, but that is how you say my Twitter handle. That's at Montrose III, the number 3RD. Thank you. More later.
Can I have it now?
No,
Why not?
because you're supposed to leave them wanting more.
You always say more later, and you never deliver.
Yes, I do, every single time. But there will be more later after that.
Oh, more later?
Yes, I am a true showman.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you.
More later.
More later.
Well, thank you, Montrose.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Glad I could be here.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
Did nada.
Okay. Well, anyway, you can also find us on all the social media. You can find us on Twitter at WWTT Podcast, as well as Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for What Were They Thinking. You can also search for What Were They Thinking Interactive, which is our Facebook group where you can talk to us and we can talk to you. Well, I guess you can do that on Twitter too. But you can also find us on all the podcatchers. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Belly Itcher, all that good stuff. And we have a Patreon page, patreon.com/WWTT podcast. And you can also find us on Redbubble and TeePublic. So, other than that, Nathan.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I pride myself on being a Gamera aficionado, so I will do my best to answer your questions.
Hold on, Nathan. What's that? Oh, sorry. You know, I would usually do this, but someone wants to come in and do a guest spot here.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Yeah, no, go ahead. You're right, Mike. You're good. Okay. You want me to try? You don't want me, you just want to say it? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Right. Well, yes. That's a given, Gauss. Well, just because they didn't hire you to be Space Gauss doesn't mean they don't like you. Well, I'm not sure what they were thinking.
Gamera is really neat. Gamera is filled with meat. We've been eating Gamera. Shell, teeth, eyes, flames, claws, breath, scales, fun.
Dr. Forrester is kind of a jerk, and Frank is really dumb too.
We have to take part in these lame experiments.
But do we complain?
No!
No!
Yes!
Huh? So we hike all over the place.
And talk of 1,000 wonderful days.
Everybody now!
Gamera is really sweet.
He is filled with
turtle meat. Now we have commercial side.
Hey, this is Liz,
And this is Heather,
and we are Nerdy Bitches Podcast.
a show where two geeky ladies podcast their way through pop culture.
From movies and TV to our regular book club and everything in between, we bring you our favorite fandoms with a feminine eye.
We're talking Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, DC, Marvel, comic books, and anime.
And don't forget sci-fi, fantasy, action movies, video games, D&D, board games, and so much more.
Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever you find awesome podcasts.
You can also find us hanging out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and at nerdybitches.com.
Talk to you soon.